we're on our way to Lujiazui, and it's enormous skyscrapers, including this one back here, the Shanghai Tower, the tallest building in Shanghai. Lesser skyscrapers here for Standard Chartered Bank and China Telecom, but still pretty big, along with Shanghai Pudong Development Bank here. And a nice tree-lined avenue here. Slightly closer up view of the Shanghai Tower from here, over on the left. And you can also see in the middle the Shanghai World Financial Center. And on the right is the Jinmao Tower. In the past, both of these were the tallest building in Shanghai at some various times. But now it's the Shanghai Tower. Broad, busy intersection here. And over there is the Oriental Pearl Tower, one of the more famous symbols of Shanghai. A fun thing about walking this way, along this road toward Lujiazui, is that there are a bunch of footbridges here. And quite soon we're going to reach the steps so that we can go up and walk on these footbridges ourselves. Heading past an entrance to the World Financial Center. Over here to the steps up to the footbridge. Here's the way back to where we came from, and here's the way forward. On these elevated walkways. Traffic moving along Century Avenue down there. Buses, cars, some taxis, all the good stuff. Here's the Jinmao Tower over here. And behind it, the Shanghai Tower. This system of footbridges very much reminds me of the ones in Hong Kong, in Central to be more precise. If you've been there, you may know the ones I'm thinking of. Maybe you've walked from the Central Ferry Piers to get there. And just like the ones in Hong Kong, there are places where these just go into buildings. And this particular building will definitely remind people of Hong Kong if you've been there. Have a look at it. Here it is. The Ifc Mall. Yes, it's a sister project of the one in Hong Kong. The one near what used to be the tallest building in Hong Kong, until it was passed. But still one of the biggest ones. I believe still the biggest one on Hong Kong Island. So yeah, we'll have to go inside to get through here. I'm actually gonna have to stop filming it so I can show them my health code, part of living in Shanghai during a pandemic. And here I am inside the IFC Mall. And yeah, it's around Christmas time at the time I'm filming this. I'm sure it'll be a bit later at the time I post it, given that I plan to take this Christmas time off of uploading, but some nice decorations here. Christmas is not really traditionally celebrated in China, but it has gained some popularity in recent years. Particularly just things like having decorations like this. How pretty. But this isn't the way back out of the building, back to the footbridges. That would be back this way. Alexander McQueen. Any relative of Lightning McQueen's? And here we are back outside with the Oriental Pearl Tower right here, and near it a big building for Ping An of China, which I believe is both a bank and an insurance company. I know it's definitely an insurance company. I used to have their insurance. Beyond the Oriental Pearl Tower, you can see some of the buildings over on the Puxi side of the river. That is the west side of the river. The older side of Shanghai. Here we got a tunnel here. If I'm reading that right, it looks to me like this is the Yan'an Road East Tunnel. I believe it leads into Yan'an Road over in Puxi. Though in this case it would be more like that it leads from there. Here's the one that leads to Puxi. Fun fact. I always try to make sure there's some decent English subtitles for all of my YouTube videos. I usually start by just editing the ones YouTube auto-generates, and oh goodness, they are not good with either Puxi or Lujiazui. They usually translate Puxi as pushy, and they usually transcribe Lujiazui in, oh gosh, so many ways. Blue Jazz Way, Lu God's Way, Blue God's Way. So many ridiculous transliterations, transcriptions, I guess is a better word. I know they're trying, but I always have to correct that one. It's really funny to see which one will come up next. Gonna go past a bunch of shops here. Got some local stuff, and also the ever-present American fast food or coffee joints, such as Dairy Queen, Starbucks, Chinese food here. Doesn't look too bad. Cool. Ah, this is actually a Hong Kong style one. Tea restaurant is a pretty literal translation of cha chan teng, which is a certain kind of Hong Kong style restaurant. And here, McDonald's. And this footbridge ends just up ahead in a big circular footbridge, in the middle of which is a roundabout for car traffic. I think I've been here before on the channel, but we'll have a look again. Here's the roundabout. Always very landscaped.
Hello.
I'm guessing the hammer and sickle refers to the fairly recent 100th anniversary of the founding of the Communist Party. You can see now we're very close to the Oriental Pearl Tower. And this circular footbridge goes all around here over to another side of the Ifc Mall. It's been a fun journey on these footbridges, but here it's time for me to descend back to ground level. Gonna head toward the Ifc Mall again. Hope you've enjoyed this trip down the road into Lujiazui, the center of Shanghai. If you did enjoy it and you'd like to see more about my life in China, this would be a great time to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Thanks so much for watching. See you all next time. Bye!